and thanks for staying with us. The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service have been speaking on the activities of Zone B in Kaduna State. Also on customs report, goods worth millions of naira seized by various commands in the country. Plus, more report. I am Igiseme Idiye. Stay tuned. The two-day official visit of the Benin Republic CG of Nigerian Customs Service to Abuja has brought about a better working relationship with the two countries. So says the CG of Nigerian Customs Service in Nigeria. So that the service will further encourage each of the two countries to work according to the legal rules as approved by the various countries. It speaks more on a number of issues.
I think by now we can say that the two customs administrations have a very good idea of what this is all about. We have learned very useful lessons from the previous engagements that we've had between the two customs administrations. We have the opportunity to learn lessons why some of those engagements did not yield the desired results. Now we are back with renewed enthusiasm and a stronger spirit that we can work together, foster cooperations between ourselves, and ensure that those issues that has been causing obstruction to the smooth conduct of trade between our countries will be eliminated. We are united in our mission that those things creating security problems along our borders will be addressed. We are convinced more than ever before that if we attempt to introduce innovations, particularly those offered by the use of technology, some of the problems characterizing our relationship would be overwhelmingly addressed.
While the Benin Republic CG of Customs, who speaks in French, also commended the management of Nigerian Customs Service for a better working relationship with the two countries.
Excellence, Messieurs Patrice Talon et Bola Ahmed Tinubu, d'ouvrir une nouvelle ère prospère dans une étroite collaboration dans tous les domaines pour nos deux pays.
The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service has paid a working visit to Zone B in Kaduna, where he lays the foundation for Customs Zonal Headquarters and also speaks on the activities of the command.
Something that goes for every operation in a modern organization. Processes are very, very important. The people that are going to drive the processes are very, very important. But then the structure, the infrastructure that people need to apply the processes and for people to operate are also very, very important. So this is why we feel that we need this kind of project to enhance the operations of our officers. We have residential accommodation, we have office accommodation, we have hospital, and in terms of enhancing work-life balance, we also have provisions for recreation activities for all our officers and men. So it's a mixed bag. It's presented as a cantonment. It's a one-stop shop for everything that we need to drive an optimal customs operations here in Zone B. Surely there are more of this in our plans for 2023 and 2024. In Lagos, for example, in Zone A, for example, we also have a similar project that is sitting on about 33 hectares of land somewhere around Ogun State. I had visited it, and I'm also impressed that we are going to have that kind of operation. So if you take the operations in Zone A and Zone B, it accounts for almost 80% of our major operations. So we need to get it right in these two places.
The Controller General of Customs also said that the service is always ready to implement federal government policies on customs matters as affect clearance of goods in and outside the country.
We certainly need an enhanced revenue base to finance federal budgets, and Nigeria Customs Service is not resting on his words to ensure that we get this. We have a target of about 302 billion per month, and we know that at the early part of the years, the first quarter and the second quarter, we had an initial very slow start. You know, the cash swap problems, the anxiety about the elections and all of that really gave us a very slow start to the year. But we thank God, in the second half of the year, things are picking up. During this first time I talked about, revenue was oscillating around 200 billion per month, slightly above 200 billion. The highest we made was sometimes in April, where we did 215 billion. But from July, things have started picking up. In July, we did 302 billion. In August, we did 372 billion. And we are very optimistic that in the months ahead, we are going to consolidate on this, and whatever gaps that we must have recorded, you know, in the first 2 quarters, we are optimistic that we're going to narrow the gap, and hopefully we might be able to meet the targets before the end of the year.
The Nigerian Customs Service Port Harcourt Area 1 has continued to engage stakeholders on how to tackle challenges with faulty documentation under declaration and wrong classification of goods. The controller of Port Harcourt Area 1 has this to say.
You see that we have started this inter alia sometimes about 2 or 3 months ago, I think. The first quarter we did the phase 1. Then this is the phase 2. Actually, we can't move forward without organizing this type of forums. We call it a forum between we and the stakeholders, whereas it will give us an opportunity to discuss our issues as far as clearing and forwarding of goods is concerned. Because in a forum, you'll be able to identify certain things you need explanation, certain things you don't understand, and certain things you need to bring forward. Even if it is a complaint, bring it forward. We will not have a solution to it as far as this forum is concerned. One good thing I observe, the way the mistakes were committed in those days, after the phase 1 sensitization program took place here, we saw a drastic change in reduction. On average, before the sensitization, the first phase of the sensitization program, in a week, if you can register wrong procedural codes, maybe 6, 7, 8 times, or let's say maximum 10, nowadays we only observe less than maybe in a month, 3 or 4, which means there is a progress.
He advised stakeholders to take advantage of the in-house routine training as part of effort to help guide against breach of customs procedures.
Older, before you were licensed, you must have the knowledge, it's a criteria, a knowledge of the custom procedures. Which means, I always tell you, some of us were privileged to learn from the agents. So it's unfortunate, or anybody can just come and join clearing agency. It's your fault. He has to follow the process. He has to have the custom knowledge so that you reduce the divide X amongst you. In as much as with the customs, the citizen and the management are always trying to see how we can reduce, or we are reducing the divide X among the custom officers. It's worldwide. There's no way I can have a free flow. There must be some divide X amongst you. But the issue is, what effort are you putting in to reduce or minimize that type of challenges? In custom, the customs citizen and management team are really doing so well because you are a living witness. People have been punished, tried. Always this disciplinary committee is working. Then what of your side? It takes two to tango. Again, I want to each and every one of us here to take the advantage. At the technical session, you must be at least jotted. Remember, you are expected to be representing your agency, your unit. So that be jotting down things, especially even those that need maybe further explanation, or they looks like ambiguity, something like ambiguity there, so you need clarification. There's a need for both tracing some of these problems we're encountering on daily basis. So please take advantage while at the second session, keep just a cool down, compose yourself, take notes. We may even make a mistake. By you coming down, you can now see the mistake and point it out.
You are watching the program Customs Report. A total of 20 billion naira has been collected by excise duty by Nigerian Customs Service for the month of January to August 2023. The figures represent an increase of 7 billion naira compared to 12 billion naira collected in the same period in 2022. The outgoing controller in charge of Lagos Industrial, who has been elevated to the rank of Assistant Controller General of Customs, says that the customs will continue to increase its revenue collection due to the laid-down rules as approved by government. She gave a breakdown of the performance of the command.
Relatively, the command in 2023 have generated the sum of 20 billion 75 million 338,533 naira 66 kobo. Thus, when compared to the revenue generated same time last year, that's 2022, we had 12 billion 439 million 470,773 naira 31 kobo, which shows an increase of 7 billion 635 million 787,760 naira 55 kobo, which is modest despite the economic and other challenges faced by the excise traders. The percentage increase in revenue of 2023 as against 2022 is 38%, which is of a great significance to the command's revenue. The command is optimistic that this year's target of 30 billion with 2.5 million monthly will be surpassed, because so far in 8 months we have exceeded our target with almost 77 million.
The acting ACG expressed her satisfaction to the performance of the officers at Lagos Industrial. She commended manufacturers for their determination to pay government revenue while others are running away.
The steady and consistent rise in revenue of the command was made possible by the hardworking and dedicated officers who work tirelessly to make sure that the correct duties are collected and as when due. I commend all the officers and men for their efforts. It is worthy of note that at the time of my resumption, the command had a total of 19 factories, functional and non-functional. But today, the command has a total of 38 functional factories and 11 non-functional factories, which the operations unit has kept under surveillance.
The command, during her period under her review, met with stakeholders in the industry on how Nigerian Customs Service operates effectively. The immediate past area controller of Upper Customs Command, who is now Assistant Controller General of Customs, has officially handed over to the new area controller in Apapa. During the handover ceremony, he urged stakeholders and officers to give maximum cooperation to the new CAC in Apapa. He said that in one day alone, the command collected 10 billion naira.
Thanking Almighty Allah for His grace and mercy I also want to express my profound gratitude and appreciation to the Acting Controller General of Customs, Bashir Adewale Adeni, MFR, whose recent visit to Lagos was motivating and encouraging to all of us. The joy of moving forward to serve our great country in higher office is laced with nostalgic feelings of missing my colleagues, officials from other services, and all other stakeholders in Apapa Port whom we have jointly worked and served together to bring the area to its present status. Also, from January to August, despite all the turbulence and situations and activities that occurred in the country, the command was able to generate a total of 676 billion into the coffers of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. It is for the first time in the history of this command and in the history of Nigeria Customs Service that an area command was able to generate over 10 billion naira in a day. We were able to achieve this on the 3rd of August 2023, where we generated 10.09 billion. We also repeated the same thing a week after, which means the 10 billion we are celebrating as one of our daily collection can be surpassed with more effort and more intelligence gathering. Therefore, I'm not handing a benchmark of 10 billion naira daily collection to the incoming area controller. I'm handing over expected more than 10 billion naira daily collection as he assumes office and continue with our operations here at Apapa.
In a speech, the CAC in Apapa commend the CG for finding him fit to be appointed to take over from ACG Mohammed.
The Controller General of Nigerian Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, MFR, for the opportunity to be here. And I want to thank specifically ACG Mohammed for leaving this very big shoe for me, which I know it's only God that can see us through. Amen. I know it's a lot of challenge, but I'm not afraid to take challenges. But that is what keeps you going as a human being. And I want to thank particularly officers of Apapa Port. From all your speeches, I could see you cooperated very well with ACG. And from all your speeches, you also mentioned to give us that cooperation. And I know together we can do it. That's why I say I'm not afraid to take challenges. As a human being, challenges keep you going. We've accepted the challenge. Like the PRO said, it's not going to be easy. But I remember when I was in university in those days, we also heard that it is not meant to be easy. Because when it's too easy, that may not bring out the best in you. So we work as a team. I said it earlier in the morning. My doors will remain open to both officers and our critical stakeholders.
The Western Marine Command of Nigerian Customs Service has handed over 8,240 parcels seized of cannabis to NDLA in Lagos. The seized drug is worth over 600 million naira. The Western Marine Command of the Nigerian Customs Service has smashed a syndicate that specializes in smuggling hard drugs along the nation's creek. The customs boss says that its men seized 103 sacks containing 8,240 loaves of cannabis, 23,000 capsules of tramadol.
I assure you, wherever they are, we are going after them. Any direction they take, we are waiting for them. And we are watching them from the source. I want to advise the society and the entire people that you can look for alternatives. Illicit drug is not a means to an end. The Naval Dockyard, they have to go about 20 to 30 nautical miles inside the ocean. And the only way you can curve in to get into any other smaller water is after Ibeju Lekki. So we decided to go and ambush them after the refinery.
He also said that the smugglers, upon sighting his patrol team, dived into the water and abandoned the boats with all the items.
Western Marine Command of Nigerian Customs Service, while facilitating trade, continues to stand as the frontier along our waterways to guide the nation under very strenuous and challenging circumstances against illicit and illegal trade that bring injury to our economy and health. While appreciating the media and the general public for the patriotic and nationalistic patronage, I wish to remind you that we must partner together to rid our nation of unhealthy and dangerous trade practices that have the potential to bring us down as a people.
He later handed over the seized items to a representative of NDLA, who thanked the service for a job well done. The Semi-Customs Command has intercepted fake drugs and goods worth over 1.8 billion naira. The outgoing customs area controller of the Semi-Border also said that the command seized 16 trucks of foreign rice worth millions of naira. The outgoing area controller in charge of Semi-Border intercepted petrol, rice, and fake drugs worth over 1.8 billion naira. He also said that smugglers should stay off the border area of Semi-Border.
This one is the one they call ecstasy. It was seized alongside the tramadol. This, as tiny and as small as you may think these are, they constitute larger part of drug abuse in our society. They give them different names. Then we also have this. Unfortunately, this was seized from one of the sister agencies who was conveying it. Normally in my character, because of the synergy that we enjoy with these sister agencies in our effort to protect the border, I don't celebrate mentioning them. However, the person involved has been handed over to his agency for appropriate punishment. This is codeine. This cough syrup with codeine, as you all know, is part of the drugs that is being abused in the country these days.
According to him, 16 truckloads of foreign rice worth 312 million naira was seized by his team. The command also seized 157 tablets of dangerous drugs, while the command also seized fresh donkey skin about to be smuggled outside the country.
1,904,456 and 59 naira only. This represents 97.2% of 1,960,000,000, which is our target. Gentlemen, I want to commend all the officers you see here today who, given a target of 1.96 billion, have so far collected 1.94 billion. It goes to show the tenacity of the officers here. In the corresponding period, under review for year 2020, the revenue was 885 million naira only. What this means is that the implication of this is that we have witnessed a tremendous increase of 1,018,000,000, which represents 51% increase from the last year report. Please, I think these officers need to be commended for that.
He urged stakeholders to continue to cooperate with customs along the nation's borderline. The president of Customs Officers Swap Association has stated that the body will continue to help less privileged people in the society. The pledge was made by the wife of the CJ of Customs. She speaks on the activities of the body.
How soon? As soon as possible is in our plan in 2023 towards the end of 2024. I believe with God on our side, we'll achieve it. It might be shorter than that, but we believe before the end of 2024, we will come to realization. We will foster relationship between customs officers' wives and also to give succor to our husbands. That's basically what we do, and by extension to the larger community where we reside.
Scholarship, take them to the next level. We sponsor them in school. We want them to be educated, you understand, so that they'll be able to achieve brighter future.
Custom Officers Craft Association is a very good thing. It's to reform back our association to empower individuals.
Just before I round up this week edition of the program, Custom Support, we brought you a report where goods worth millions of naira was accepted by some area commands in the country. For me, Igeseme Edine, thanks for watching.